Hey everyone, Mike here from the Insight Lab, your go-to source for mind-blowing facts and intriguing stories from around the world. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Today we're diving deep into the wacky world of legislation with our top 10 most bizarre laws from around the world. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about rules and regulations, because some of these laws are truly outlandish. From chewing gum bans to toilet flushing curfews, we'll uncover the history and reasoning behind these peculiar prohibitions. So buckle up, get ready to have your mind blown, and let's explore the strange side of the law together. Kicking off our list at number 1, we travel to the squeaky clean streets of Singapore, where chewing gum is strictly prohibited. Yes, you heard that right. The simple act of enjoying a stick of gum could land you in hot water with the law. This law was implemented in 1992, after the government grew tired of people sticking their used gum on sidewalks, under benches, and even on public transportation. Apparently, Singaporeans weren't very good at finding trash cans for their gum disposal. The government decided to nip the problem in the bud with a nationwide ban, and it seems to have worked wonders for their city's cleanliness. While this law might seem a bit extreme, you have to admit, Singapore is remarkably clean. I can only imagine the pain and anguish this law inflicts on gum enthusiasts around the world. Imagine having to forgo your favorite minty fresh breath enhancer or chewy fruity treat. It's enough to make you want to smuggle in a pack of gum under the cover of darkness. But be warned, the authorities are vigilant, and getting caught with even a single stick of gum can result in hefty fines. So, if you're planning a trip to Singapore, leave your gum at home and pack a breath mint instead. Your taste buds might not thank you for it, but at least you'll stay on the right side of the law. Next up, we journey to the land of chocolate, cheese, and surprisingly strict bathroom etiquette, Switzerland. Get ready to hold on tight, because in Switzerland, it's illegal to flush the toilet after 10 p.m. in apartment buildings. You might be thinking, did I hear that right? Yes, you did. Apparently the Swiss take their sleep very seriously, and the sound of a flushing toilet after hours is considered a major disturbance. The reasoning behind this law is to minimize noise pollution and ensure a peaceful night's sleep for everyone. While it's a noble goal, you have to wonder about the logistics of it all. Do the Swiss have some sort of internal clock that tells them not to flush after 10 p.m.? What happens if you have a late-night emergency? These are the questions that keep me up at night, but unfortunately the law doesn't provide any answers. So if you find yourself in Switzerland after a late-night snack, you might want to hold it in until morning or risk incurring the wrath of your light-sleeping neighbors. And whatever you do, don't even think about flushing twice. That's a surefire way to get on your neighbor's bad side and possibly even face a noise complaint. At number 3, we set sail for the romantic canals of Venice, Italy, where pigeons rule the skies, and feeding them is a big no-no. That's right, folks, if you're caught tossing breadcrumbs to our feathered friends in Venice, you could be slapped with a hefty fine. Now you might be wondering why such a seemingly harmless act is outlawed in this beautiful city. Well, it all boils down to one word: poop. Venice has been grappling with a pigeon overpopulation problem for years, and all those extra birds have to relieve themselves somewhere, and unfortunately, that somewhere is usually on historic buildings, statues, and unsuspecting tourists. The excessive pigeon droppings were not only aesthetically unpleasing but also posed a health hazard and contributed to the deterioration of Venice's architectural gems. So, in an effort to curb the feathered frenzy, the city decided to cut off their food supply, or at least the supply provided by tourists. It's a classic case of tough love, Venetian style. I can only imagine the pigeons staging a protest, flapping their wings in unison and demanding their daily breadcrumbs. But alas, the law is the law, and in Venice it seems pigeons are not above the law. Chapter 4. Don't name your pig Napoleon in France. Hold on to your berets, because at number 4, we're heading to France, where pigs are not to be trifled with. Especially if their name is Napoleon. That's right, in France it's illegal to name your porcine pal after the famous French military leader and emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte. This unusual law dates back to the 19th century, and is rooted in a deep respect for Napoleon's legacy. Apparently, the French government felt that naming a pig, an animal not exactly known for its imperial grandeur, after Napoleon was disrespectful and insulting to his memory. It seems the French take their history very seriously, and they're not afraid to protect it, even if it means regulating the names of farm animals. I can only imagine the conversations that must have taken place when this law was being drafted. "We must protect the honor of Napoleon," one official probably exclaimed. "But what about the pigs?" another might have inquired. "Well, they can't be named Napoleon, that's for sure." So, if you're planning on raising pigs in France, you might want to brush up on your French history and choose your pig names wisely. And whatever you do, avoid Napoleon at all costs, unless you want to face the wrath of the French legal system. Chapter 5. Australia's Pink Pants Prohibition. Get ready to tone down your wardrobe because at number 5, we're venturing to the land of kangaroos, koalas, and surprisingly strict fashion regulations. Australia. Hold on to your hats, folks, because in Victoria, Australia, it's illegal to wear hot pink pants after midday on Sundays. Yes, you read that correctly. If you're caught strutting your stuff in bright pink trousers after noon on the Sabbath, you could be in for a fashion faux pas of legal proportions. The origins of this law are shrouded in mystery, but rumor has it that it dates back to the 1930s and was implemented to curb indecent exposure. Apparently, some people thought hot pink pants were a bit too revealing, especially for a Sunday afternoon. Now, whether or not you agree with this fashion assessment is a matter of personal preference. But the law is the law. And in Victoria, it seems, hot pink pants are on the no-go list after midday on Sundays. I can only imagine the fashion police patrolling the streets, armed with tape measures and a keen eye for any shade of pink that might be deemed too hot to handle. So, if you're planning a Sunday outing in Victoria, you might want to leave your hot pink pants in the closet and opt for a more subdued shade. Your fashion sense might thank you for it, and you'll definitely stay on the right side of the law. Chapter 6. Japan's Metabo Law, a weighty issue. Next, we're heading to Japan, a country known for its technological advancements, delicious cuisine, and surprisingly strict health regulations. Buckle up, folks, because in Japan, it's illegal to be overweight. You might be thinking, wait, what? But it's true. Japan takes its citizens' health very seriously, and in 2008, they implemented the Metabo Law to combat obesity and promote healthy living. This law requires citizens between the ages of 40 and 74 to undergo annual waistline measurements. If their waistline exceeds the government-mandated limit, they're given dietary and exercise guidance and encouraged to slim down. The goal of the Metabo Law is to reduce the risk of obesity-related health problems such as heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. While the intentions behind the law are admirable, you have to wonder about the implications of a government dictating its citizens' weight. It's a slippery slope, and some argue that it infringes on personal freedom and body autonomy. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, one thing's for sure, the Metabo Law has sparked a national conversation about health and wellness in Japan. Get ready to dive into a fishy situation because at number 7, we're heading to the United Kingdom, where handling salmon can be a criminal offense. You heard that right, folks. In the UK, it's illegal to handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. This law might sound like something out of a Monty Python sketch, but it's a real law, and it's been around since 1986. The Salmon Act of 1986 was implemented to protect salmon stocks from illegal fishing and poaching. The Suspicious Circumstances Clause is intentionally vague, giving law enforcement officers the authority to apprehend anyone they believe might be up to no good with a salmon. Now, what exactly constitutes suspicious circumstances when it comes to salmon is open to interpretation. Are you acting suspiciously if you're carrying a salmon in a dark alley? What about if you're running down the street with a salmon tucked under your arm? The law doesn't specify, which leaves plenty of room for interpretation and, let's be honest, a good dose of British humor. So, if you're ever in the UK and find yourself in possession of a salmon, make sure you're acting above board, or you might just find yourself on the wrong side of the law. Get ready to count your pennies because at number 8, we're heading to Canada, where paying with too many coins can land you in hot water. That's right, folks. In Canada, there's a law that limits the number of coins you can use in a single transaction. According to the Currency Act, you can't pay for goods or services with more than a certain number of coins of each denomination. For example, you can only use up to $25 in loonies, which are Canadian $1 coins, and $5 in toonies, those are Canadian $2 coins, for a single purchase. The rationale behind this law is to prevent businesses from being bogged down by having to count mountains of coins. It's all about efficiency, folks. Now I know what you're thinking. What happens if you're a few cents short and only have a jar full of nickels? Well, the law does make exceptions for situations like that, but if you're planning on paying for your groceries with a bucket full of pennies, you might want to reconsider your strategy. The cashier might not be too thrilled, and you might just find yourself on the wrong side of the law. Watch your step, because at number 9 we're heading to Thailand, where disrespecting money can land you in hot water. That's right, folks, in Thailand it's illegal to step on money. This law might seem strange at first, but it's rooted in a deep respect for the Thai baht, the country's currency. The baht features images of the Thai royal family, and stepping on the money is considered a sign of disrespect to the monarchy. The Thai people hold their king and royal family in high regard, and any action that could be perceived as disrespectful is taken very seriously. So if you're ever in Thailand, be mindful of where you step, especially if there's money on the ground. You don't want to accidentally commit a faux pas and offend anyone. Instead, you can politely point out the dropped money to the owner, or pick it up and hand it to them. It's a small gesture that goes a long way in showing respect for Thai culture and traditions. Fasten your seatbelts, because at number 10, we're speeding off to Germany, where running out of gas on the Autobahn can land you in hot water. That's right, folks. In Germany, it's illegal to run out of fuel on the Autobahn. The Autobahn is famous for its lack of speed limits on certain sections, but that doesn't mean you can just cruise along without a care in the world. Running out of fuel on the Autobahn is considered a serious offense, and for good reason. It's incredibly dangerous to come to a stop on the side of the Autobahn, especially if you're in a high-speed lane. It creates a major hazard for other drivers, and it can lead to serious accidents. The German authorities take this very seriously, and they're not afraid to issue hefty fines to drivers who run out of gas on the Autobahn. So, if you're planning a road trip through Germany, make sure you keep an eye on your fuel gauge and fill up regularly. The last thing you want is to be stranded on the side of the Autobahn with an empty tank and a hefty fine heading your way. And there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of the world's most bizarre laws. From chewing gum bans to suspicious salmon handling, we've covered it all. We hope you've enjoyed this journey into the strange and often hilarious world of legislation. Which of these bizarre laws surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing content. From all of us here at the Insight Lab, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.